intersection of making art and making money. Last week, I encouraged you to accept all compliments, and boy, this is hard. One of the things I noticed in all of your replies and posts on Instagram, which you can see at the hashtag BizConfidenceChallenge, was doubt about the validity of the compliments. So a lot of you discounted the compliments as not real, or the complimenter is not really knowing enough to have a valid compliment. In other words, if somebody says, wow, your business looks amazing, you say to yourself, oh, that person doesn't really know anything about business. And what this shows us is that even when you try to accept other people's compliments and comments about your worthiness or your awesomeness, it's never enough. There's never any point where our ego says, oh, I actually believe this, I'm fine. Because another person can never give you enough validation to make you feel confident if you aren't already. Welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm. Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 130 with me, Tara Swiger. We are in the middle of the Biz Confidence Challenge, which is an event where I challenge you to do one thing each week to grow your confidence both in yourself and in your business. It's all delivered via email, and it's not too late to sign up. You just go to taraswiger.com/bizconfidence to get the email challenges, the podcast episodes, and the free webinars that we do each week where I answer your questions. taraswiger.com/bizconfidence. And if you're listening to this after October 2016, you can still sign up on that same page and you'll be notified the next time it's available, the next time it's held live. So today we are going to talk about the steps you can take right now with or without confidence to move forward in your business. That is permission. But before we get into it, I want to take a minute to thank all of you who have checked out Patreon and become supporters and producers of the podcast. Some patrons are watching the live stream right now, and the Enthusiasm Club are already getting encouraging texts from me every couple days, reminding them to prioritize their tasks for the week, to pay attention to how they're spending their time, and to talk directly to the right people. That's just a sample of the things I've been texting them. And the real mail level is about to get postcards when I go to the UK next month. But to find more about becoming a producer, watching the live stream, and all of the awesome bonuses, go to patreon.com/Tara Swiger. That's Patreon, patron with an E, patreon.com/Tara Swiger, TARASWIGER. Now, Kay and Shipman, the authors of The Confidence Code, say this: confidence that is dependent on other people's praise is a lot more vulnerable than confidence built on our own achievements. So while I want you to keep accepting compliments because arguing against your own awesomeness actually damages your confidence, you can't just stop at accepting what other people tell you about your business or about you. You can't just stop at accepting compliments and say, okay, I accept that that might be true. It is now time to build your own confidence on your own achievements. And we started this in week 1 with listing the things you're proud of. You might remember that the week 1 challenge was to list everything you're proud of, but now we're going to take it one step forward. We are going to take your confidence into your own hands. Decide that no matter how you feel, you are allowed to do whatever it is you're afraid of doing, whatever it is you feel like you don't have the confidence to do. Give yourself permission to do the things you don't have 100% confidence in. Give yourself permission to do things imperfectly. You do not have to wait around for someone else to tell you what you're allowed to do. You do not have to wait for someone else's approval before you can follow your dreams. You don't need to be certified, ratified, or permitted. You just decide, I am going to do this. Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when we talked about what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for someone else's permission? Are you waiting for certification? Are you waiting for what? Many of you told me, I'm waiting to feel confident. So this is where we address that. Girl, you got to stop waiting and you got to give yourself permission to do it, whether you feel confident or not. And it's a big thing that most people forget about, is that you can decide, I'm allowed to do that. I don't have to wait any longer. Now, this is the big secret of people who have successful businesses. They just decided that they're going to do what it takes, whether they thought they're capable or skilled enough or not. And then they just decided, why not me? Why wouldn't I do this? And then they went and they did stuff. I have read so many business biographies, so many business books. That's what they all come down to, is that they said at some point, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to do it anyhow. Sometimes they weren't even thinking, oh, I'm giving myself permission to do that. But often, and I notice this is especially true of women, we have to tell ourselves, I'm allowed to do this even though I don't feel ready to do this. So the people that you see that have amazing businesses, the artists with gallery shows, the makers at the big craft shows, they don't have 100% confidence. They are not 100% sure that they will absolutely always succeed. They do know that they can just decide to do it and see how it turns out. They don't always feel good enough. They don't always think they're worthy of actually being at the big show or getting the big client or getting that certain press, but they decide to go after it anyhow. They take action that's going to move their business forward anyhow. And that's the thing. We are doing all of these actions that are going to build your confidence, that are going to help you recognize you've done awesomeness in the past, you can do it going forward. We helped you recognize what you failed at and yet survived, so you have the belief that you can survive. We've identified what you're waiting for, and if you really need to take some action in order to improve some area so that you're ready. And we've helped you learn to accept compliments so that you're not constantly negating all of the positive things about you. And then it comes down to this. You have to do stuff. That's going to be next week's challenge. But for this week, give yourself permission to do stuff, even if after all this, you're not feeling confident. So many of you said in your comments, I'm waiting till I feel confident. Well, don't wait. Give yourself permission. You can do it as you are right now. So right now, today, I want you to identify that one thing you've been putting off or avoiding, and I asked you to do this a couple weeks ago, so remember what that is. Keep in mind that one thing that you're putting off because you weren't sure if you were something enough. Maybe that you were big enough, that you were smart enough, that you were bold enough, that you were confident enough, that you were educated enough, that you were young enough or old enough. You got it? And I want you to grant yourself permission to do it. Decide. You can do it as you are right now. Now, there may be a few things you need to give yourself permission to do. I'm going to give you some suggestions. This isn't all of the things that people need to give themselves permission to do, but these are the ones I see a lot with the people that I work with. You may need to give yourself permission to build your business your own way, to do things differently than how other people are doing them. And this is a big one. I'm always talking about, you are the expert in your business. You know what you need and want. You know what you're willing to do. And that means you are going to go about it in a way that's probably different from other people. You got to give yourself permission to do that. You have to believe that you're allowed to have a business that looks not like other people's, but is successful because of your own definitions of success. So once you discover what's working in your business and you start building on it, and this is something we're talking about all the time, right? You want to do more of what's working and less of what's not. Once you start doing that, you might see that your path looks very different from everybody else's. You might find that a tool that everybody else hates works really well for connecting to your customers, or vice versa. You might find that your people aren't on Instagram or Pinterest, and that's what everybody keeps telling you to do. Or your blogging system might be completely bizarre, or your work day might be totally irregular. You might not work regular hours or do the same kinds of work on the same kinds of days. Or there are a million ways that you running your business in the way that works for you might look really weird to everybody else, or might not look successful to everyone else, but it meets your own definition of success. Or maybe it won't. Maybe you'll look exactly like how other people run your business. Maybe you will use Instagram in the same way other people use it, and it will work really well for your business. But either way, you need to give yourself permission to do what works best for you and your business and your customers, no matter how unusual or how normal it looks in comparison with anyone else's. Because remember, your business isn't in comparison with anyone else. It is yours. You are doing it. You alone in your studio or in your kitchen or in your living room. You all over your house, you are doing it. It's not in comparison with anyone else. It's you and what works for you. So you have permission to do it in the way that works for you. Now, you also might need to give yourself permission to be exactly where you are right now. So you have it. You have my permission to be exactly where you are right now in your business, whether it's that you've been working on it for 5 years and not seen any profit, whether you haven't paid your business taxes in 2 years, whether your book manuscript is half finished, whether your last product launch was a total flop. You have permission to be exactly where you are right now. Because that's where you are. You can't move forward unless you acknowledge and you accept that this is where you are, and you notice how far that is from where you want to go. That's the only way you make progress forward, is by being where you are and then moving forward, not fighting it and trying to ignore it and feeling bad and beating yourself up. So you have permission to be where you are right now. You also have permission to take a break from your business if you need to. If you need to take a break because of family emergency, or because you're expecting a new member of your family, or you are ill or need surgery, you have permission to take time away from your business. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, both because I took a break this summer and because I am taking time away from my business to go to the UK and teach in November. If you need help figuring out how exactly to do this, I've been thinking and writing a lot about it. And if you want to keep your business running and still take a break, take a leave from your business, you can check out the newest course that I just put together with Stacy Truck of Fresh Stitches. She took a maternity leave while having a super successful business. We put together everything we both know with dozens of worksheets, and you can find that all at taraswiger.com/leave. That class just opened. So it just opened, and we're going to hold a Q&A for students who join before November 3rd. So our Q&A will be November 3rd, 2016, if you're listening to this when it first comes out. So we are going to help the students on the Q&A plan their own leave if they need help. But you can learn more about that class and join us at taraswiger.com/leave. The reason we made this class is because so many of you need to know you're allowed to take leave, whether it's maternity leave or adoption leave or illness leave. I just had a Starship captain who had a major surgery a couple months ago, and I helped her figure out how she was going to take leave from her business, or whether it's an emergency. I have a lot of students who are going through or coming out of chemotherapy, or their best friend is, or their parents are. So if that's what you're going through, you have permission to A, be where you are, B, do what works best for you, and C, if that includes taking a break from your business, take it. You might take a total break and close your business, or you might choose to take leave and keep your business running. So you have permission to do whatever it is you need to do in your business, to even do the things that you don't have confidence to do yet. So I want you to think about it. What do you need permission to do right now? I want you to identify it and then grant yourself that permission. If you want to make it official, some of my students asked me to make a permission slip. So you have access to that permission slip. You can go print it off and fill it in, whatever you need to give yourself permission to do. You can find it at taraswiger.com/podcast130. That's taraswiger.com/podcast130. And you fill in the thing to get the permission slip, and we'll email it to you right away, and it will be printable, so you can print it and hang it up. And remember, you have permission to do the thing. And then I want you to think about going and doing it. So share your results. Tell us what you've given yourself permission to do on Instagram using the hashtag BizConfidenceChallenge. And you can click on Biz Confidence Challenge on Instagram and look at all the awesome posts and people who are giving themselves permission to do things even though they don't yet have the confidence. You can find links to everything I mentioned, including the Instagram hashtag at the same place you can get the permission slip, taraswiger.com/podcast130. I'll link to past episodes I've done about how to take leave, how to have permission to do what you want to do, everything we covered in today's episode. And I will also link to that Patreon so you can become a producer of the podcast, and to the leave class, which you'll find at taraswiger.com/leave. The links to everything, as always, are on my website, taraswiger.com/podcast130. I cannot wait to see what you give yourself leave to do and then what you do. I said, I can't wait to see what you give yourself permission to do and then what you do with it. So tune in. Next week's the last episode in the Biz Confidence Challenge. I appreciate you joining me here. A giant thank you again to all my patrons, and have a fantastic, enthusiastic, permission-filled day. Thanks so much for watching. You can get weekly lessons like this in your inbox, along with access to worksheets and checklists and transcripts from all the podcast episodes when you sign up below. You can also subscribe on YouTube, and YouTube will notify you when there's a new video. And you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. If you do, be sure to say hello or leave a comment below the video to let me know you're there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a very enthusiastic day.